trillions. Nvidia has lost $1 trillion in market valuation over the last little while. What do you see with that? Is that concerning, or is it just a little bit? A little bit. Is it some profit taking going on there, or is it a real move?
I think there's some profit taking there, but I think also there was an article out there on July 1st that I think spooked a lot of that AI ecosystem, and you saw that with the CoreWeaves, the Nebiuses, the Nvidias, the Marvell Technologies. Same thing with like TSMC. When that headline came out that Meta sat there and wanted to monetize some of their excess capacity and sell that into the market, everyone sat there and said, "Okay, is there an overbuild out there in the AI market?" Well, for us, we look at the private market, and we have a lot of good intelligence to say that is not the case, and that there are a lot of people who are still looking for power. They're still looking for data centers. It's a market that is still in short supply. So that Meta headline that came out there, I think, was a little bit deceiving versus, as you saw yesterday, in Alberta, they're putting in, I think it was a $13 or $16 billion AI data center out there in Alberta, which is, if you're short supply, I don't think you'd be putting that amount of capital into another data center out there in the world.
All right, I want to ask you more about that, but also Nvidia, is it a good buy right now, you thinking?
I think it's very interesting. Like you can hear Jensen, you can hear the IR team talk about the next quarter and how like they don't see a let up in demand. Like you're not seeing it anywhere out there from the private market. Yes, you get swings in the public market in some of these stocks, but the underlying fundamentals suggest that that stock is worth a heck of a lot more than it is today too.
All right, and with that Canadian data center, I mean, we expected to be coming, but it's nice to see the commitment finalized. Does this reinforce it? I mean, AI is here to stay at the scale I think people are hoping it will be?
I definitely think it is. I definitely think you're even going to see more of these announcements made within Canada, just because we want that sovereign AI. We want those data centers on our own land, on our own turf. So I think you'll see more and more of those. I think you'll see more and more of those contracts from other countries as well. Everybody doesn't want their data just running throughout the US. So case in point, Meta coming up here. Are they going to go down to Australia, over into Europe? I'm sure there's going to be more and more data centers put up within those regions because of that whole sovereign AI business. And on top of that, just the amount of data that needs to be consumed with these AI products, it's just, there's more and more and more and more of it. We see how efficient these platforms are making organizations. Even in our own organization, we hired an individual to come in and build certain products for us. In the speed and pace that gets done now, it's very.
About 95% of analysts on Wall Street still rate Nvidia a buy or a strong buy, despite it losing nearly $1 trillion in market value since the highs on May 14th. I have people telling me buy this dip. Are you my contrarian on Nvidia? What are you doing with this stock here? Nobody's telling me that the sell-off is actually a warning signal.
Yeah, I'm not the contrarian, but I also am not putting Nvidia at the top of my buy scorecard right now. To me, Brian, Nvidia stands as the hub of the AI ecosystem, and there are so many other companies that benefit from Nvidia's continued success. I'm also encouraged that Nvidia has actually broadened out their revenue to go beyond just chip sales, whereas in recent quarters, 88% of their revenues came from their data center business. But I still believe there are better opportunities within the AI ecosystem. You mentioned Micron earlier. Yes, to me, the AI revolution comes to a screeching halt without memory and without power. And when I think about memory, I think about Micron, who's still trading at just 6 times forward earnings. But guess what? For every time Micron comes out and says that we can't keep up with demand, well, who's going to benefit from them turning away business? It's going to be SK Hynix. And now myself, as a portfolio manager, starting on Friday, will be able to buy shares of SK Hynix through their ADRs that are going to be listed on NASDAQ, as opposed to encumbering the difficulties of buying on the Korean stock exchange. So I see more opportunities in memory, and I think PMs will as well.
A couple questions for you there, Ken. What would make you more excited to get in there and buy this pullback on Nvidia? The stock is trading at the cheapest levels from a P/E ratio perspective since 2019. Does it need to pull back to 2017 levels?
Yeah, I'm going to still maintain my core allocation to Nvidia. If, in fact, it dips below, let's say, 20 times forward earnings, I think right now, according to Yahoo Finance, it's trading roughly 22 times forward earnings. If it gets below 20, that becomes a screaming buy to me. But that doesn't mean that I'm staying away from the name. I just think there are other names that you could use to surround NVIDIA that's going to provide you with even more growth opportunities. And that was the very genesis of my Air 7 stock basket that I came up with.
You mentioned SK Hynix. Are you a buyer of SK Hynix at some point on IPO day, or would you be more inclined to now wade into the other hot IPO of this year in SpaceX with a stock price that is below its IPO price?
Yeah, I think I would wait on SK Hynix just as much as I waited on SpaceX. It amazed me, to say the least, that a company that had an operating loss of $4 billion as recently as last year traded at the valuations it did at its IPO. I think you're going to see that same type of enthusiasm for SK Hynix. And if you wait a few weeks, perhaps a month, you're going to find some more attractive levels to buy in at that name.
And as I'm having flashbacks here to when then Facebook came public, a lot of hype around then, and the stock was really in the trash bin for more, I think, almost 2 years.
SK Hynix is the talk of the town now. I mean, if you take a look at what some strategists are saying about this company, I mean, they are a provider for Nvidia. They're high bandwidth memory. So there's a lot of enthusiasm around SK Hynix and the fact that investors now have also in the US a choice to be able to invest in this one as well. Now, Micron, today you're seeing that bounce. By the way, they just signed a 10-year deal with Global Wafers. That's the company that supplies silicon wafers. It's a supplier for Micron, so they are going to be securing supply. So as it was just mentioned, I mean, the fact that SK Hynix is oversubscribed, you are seeing bullishness still in this AI memory trade, even though we have seen a pullback in recent weeks.
Kev, let me get back to you. I just dropped a story on our homepage this morning. Look at the Mag 7 now. Horrible year for these 7 stocks by and large, except Alphabet, up double digits. They have outperformed the S&P 500. But the valuation on the Mag 7, is it real? I think I wrote a significant discount relative to the S&P 500, really the most or the biggest discount in more than a decade. Are you a buyer of these names?
Yeah, if you look through the first 2 quarters of this year, Brian, to your point, the Mag 7 was down on an equal weighted basis 1.7%. And I think that should serve as a reminder to all investors. If you want to find growth opportunities in the markets today, as opposed to growth opportunities, potential growth opportunities in years to come, focus not on who's spending, focus more so on who's receiving the spending. And that's where I got into this Air 7 concept. Yes, I still like NVIDIA, as I discussed, and I like Alphabet for the very reasons that you just cited. But why not include other benefactors within that AI ecosystems, names such as Taiwan Semiconductor, who is the largest dedicated chip foundry in the world and has onshored the production of their NVIDIA chips to Phoenix, Arizona. Then I think of Micron, who's looking to onshore their domestic capabilities in Syracuse, and they're making an announcement later this morning. And then how about the cooling side of this whole scenario with a company such as Vertiv Holdings? And let's not forget about power. I mentioned that how important memory is, so is power. And I think about a utility company like American Electric Power, whose stock's up over 20% year to date, and yet they have a dividend yield of over 2.5%. If you equal weight those Air 7, the benefactors of a lot of that spending, through the first 2 quarters of this year, those stocks were up over 75% versus the Mag 7 that was down nearly 2%.
Nvidia stock fell on Thursday, reversing some of the previous session's gains, even as semiconductor companies soared, highlighting investors' persistent preference for other sections of the artificial intelligence supply chain. Shares fell 1.1% to $201.76 in noon trade after rising 3.7% on Wednesday. The Nasdaq Composite surged 0.9%, the S&P 500 gained 0.7%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 223 points, or 0.4%. Chip stocks performed well, with the VanEck Semiconductor ETF up 3%. Micron Technology rose 7%, SanDisk rose 7%, and several other semiconductor companies advanced. Wednesday's advance was driven by a report from technology publication, the information that Beijing intends to allow Chinese corporations to buy some of Nvidia's H200 AI chips. The research boosted optimism that Nvidia would regain access to a portion of the Chinese market after U.S. export restrictions drastically limited its sales in the nation. Another encouraging step occurred late Wednesday. when Elon Musk's SpaceX unveiled its latest artificial intelligence model, Grok 4.5. According to the business, the model was trained on tens of thousands of Nvidia's latest GB300 graphics processing units. If Grok 4.5 outperforms models from Anthropic and OpenAI, it might solidify Nvidia's advantage in AI computing ahead of the larger rollout of its next-generation Vera Rubin platform, which is planned in the second part of the year. Nvidia has found it difficult to match the performance of several of its semiconductor rivals this year, despite recent catalysts. After rising by more than 1,100% between late 2022 and the end of 2025, the stock has gained just approximately 7.6% so far in 2026. In comparison, the S&P 500 has gained 9.6%, the Nasdaq 100 has gained 16%, and the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index has gained 74%. The divergence indicates a larger shift in the artificial intelligence market rather than a deterioration in Nvidia's business fundamentals. Investors are gradually shifting their focus to other sectors of the AI supply chain, including memory manufacturers, storage companies, and other semiconductor firms that are projected to gain from increased AI infrastructure spending. Micron Technology has benefited greatly from this rotation, since demand and pricing for high-bandwidth memory chips remain strong. Nvidia's competitors, notably Advanced Micro Devices and Intel, have also outperformed the stock this year. According to Bloomberg statistics, the change has left Nvidia trading at approximately 18 times forecast earnings over the next 12 months, its lowest forward valuation since before the artificial intelligence boom. The decreased valuation comes despite Wall Street analysts continuing to improve earnings expectations for the company, implying that investor caution is driven more by shifting market preferences than by poor business performance. TD Cowen reiterated its buy rating and $270 price target for Nvidia following talks with CEO Jensen Huang, CFO Colette Kress, and Head of Investor Relations Toshiya Hari. The brokerage also kept Nvidia as one of its top investment ideas. According to TD Cowen, Nvidia officials have stated that demand for AI computer capability continues to outstrip current supply. According to the corporation, Nvidia cited rising rental prices for aged GPUs, increased enterprise AI use, and freshly signed cloud agreements at premium pricing as indication that processing capacity remained scarce. TD Cowen also believes Nvidia's promise goes beyond graphics processors, noting that the company's combination of hardware and software positions it to benefit from the ongoing development of AI infrastructure. Following a prolonged period of stock decline, Nvidia may be set to significantly ramp up share buybacks. Since May 14th, when the stock reached a record high, Nvidia's market value has fallen by around $1 trillion. The stock is now trading at roughly 18 times forward earnings, which is lower than the S&P 500's forward price-to-earnings multiple of 21 times. This is the lowest Nvidia stock price since early 2019, when the AI boom ignited. In 2019, the technology company was still perceived as a bet on video game chips and Bitcoin mining. The stock has fallen by around 16% since its all-time high on May 14th, as investors have shifted their focus to memory chip companies such as SanDisk and Micron. Nvidia repeated its objective of returning 50% of cash flow to shareholders this year, Citi analyst Atif Malik said in a fresh note following a teleconference with Nvidia's investor relations. As the company advances into the future, management stated that given the current stock price, they can expect buybacks to expand. Nvidia said in late May that it would broaden its capital return program. It increased the dividend to $0.25 per share from $0.01. It also launched a fresh $80 billion stock buyback program to supplement an existing $39 billion program left over from a previous authorization. Given the company's weakness over the last 2 months, a more aggressive pace of repurchases under the plan, which might provide a floor for the price while Nvidia vacuums up shares on the open market, may be in the works. We keep Nvidia as our top buy-rated mega-cap data center semiconductor pick because to its strong access to DRAM memory in the face of tight industry supply, Malik added. Several worries are driving the sell-off, according to Bank of America analyst Vivek Arya, who released a note this week. They include gross margin pressure from rising memory costs, competition from custom ASIC chips, crowded investor ownership, and inefficient cash utilization in vendor financing, rather than greater buybacks or dividends. Despite the setback, Wall Street bulls on Nvidia remain optimistic. Jessica Inskip, a stockbrokers.com strategist, stated in an interview that the technical setup is excellent. It's an excellent buying opportunity. I believe Nvidia is contributing to the development of AI infrastructure. They are making a moat, and there is undoubtedly more to it. So I'd be the buyer here. Vivek Arya, an analyst with Bank of America Securities, restated his buy rating for Nvidia and set a price objective of $350. Nvidia continues to receive strong buy ratings from analysts, with 94% of the 66 analysts polled by CNN rating the stock buy. The stock presently has a median price target of $300, representing a 52.34% increase from its current price of $196.93. Earlier on July 6th, Bloomberg reported that Nvidia highlighted that its roadmap remains unchanged despite allegations that its next-generation AI rack system has been delayed. SemiAnalysis previously reported that the company's Kyber NVL144 had been delayed and pushed back to 2028 owing to production issues with a critical circuit board. In other news, Certera recently announced a partnership with Nvidia to improve its open integrated AI platform. The alliance aims to integrate its scientific software, regulatory knowledge, and proprietary datasets with AI-first, agentic frameworks. Nvidia develops and manufactures graphics processing units, GPUs, system-on-chip units, SoCs, and artificial intelligence, AI, hardware and software. Its GPUs are utilized in gaming, high-performance computing, AI training, and inference, and they form the foundation of global data center infrastructure.